mean, as I've said repeatedly, I don't think you're a racist or a bigot or anything like that. But a lot of people who came into the Draw Muhammed Day movement were. And I'm just going by the comments I've seen left and the choice of videos that have been put out there.
In terms of the impact, I think you would do better by actually having a spectrum of people on board than actually by having a very narrow slice of essentially people with moderate and inoffensive opinions. In other words, if everything had been moderate and inoffensive, I don't think it would have garnered the
support of racists. I think you've got a problem. The other thing is, it's the way you expressed it with the, with the paedophile Muhammad thing.
No.
Landon. I mean, going back to the reciprocation point you made earlier on.
It all boils down to, does the means justify the ends? This is what it really is. The costs worth the benefits? Now, I agree, that if you actually have to get associated with people who you really wouldn't want to be associated with, and that's the cost of what you see giving this thing the best potential of impact, are you willing to do it? Right? So there is a line there.
I mean, I'm trying not to put this into emotive terms, but is it fair to say that you were willing for racists to take part in the movement because you saw the aim as being so important?
They would have done anyway. What would it have been worth actually diffusing the momentum by trying? The simplicity of it all counts. Yeah. If you make it too complicated,
this is the thing. The way you went about it wasn't. You could have just drawn a stick figure or something like that. You went completely over the top.
No, I thought what I did was very tongue-in-cheek. I thought what I did was very tongue-in-cheek. I mean, how could anyone possibly take that seriously? Yeah, with the things I did with drawing Muhammad anyway. I mean, that little whatever beatard thing.
And I would give the answer that you gave me earlier on about the Cordba initiative. I think you should have seen it coming.
I did see it coming. It was a cost-benefit analysis, and I knew that loads of people would see him as a jerk for doing it. No, not the actual the video that I put up, but yeah, I mean, if you're going to go for big tent stuff, and if you basically decided that to give it the best chance of impact, you need the biggest tent possible. If you've decided that that's the way to go, would you actually compromise what you see as the chances of success by, sort of complicating the message and sort of trying to clean up the whole movement?
Well, I mean, all I'm going to say is I personally wouldn't have done that. I would not have expressed myself in that way, and I would have made it clear that this wasn't an anti-Muslim thing, which is kind of how it came across.
Well, to be fair, it is. It's okay. It's probably offensive. Do you know what fraction of Muslims actually find this sort of thing offensive? Drawing Muhammad.
Well, I mean, it's prohibited in Sunni Islam. So, what's the fraction of Sunni Muslims? 80 something.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So I mean, in that sense, yeah, it is offensive to Islam. I mean, I wouldn't, nitpick too much about 20%, but
well, I just think there are other ways of doing it. And you said the softly approach wasn't working, when actually there is actually evidence out there that it's starting to have an effect, but that you as the sort of scientist and whatever have gone Muslims no, Islam no, and that is actually problematic. I mean, one of the real issues
the objective. Yeah, please.
Okay, go on.
No, the objective was very simple: to make the event as bigger an event as possible, to actually, try and generate some sort of media, viral potential for it. It's not quite as simple as all other considerations secondary, but it was essentially there. there are all sorts of things that could have really screwed it up. YouTube could have pulled the plug on me. The videos could have got banned. There were all sorts of risks that had to be done. But basically, the strategy that was decided on is you need to make it as big as possible for the simple reason to replace the last time that someone did anything like this. There were embassies being burnt down, all that sort of shit. You need to make you need to make the biggest splash possible, such that the ripples from that sort of permeate. That next time anyone plugs into the internet from the Islamic world, they will realise that everyone else doesn't actually have to abide by your religious rules, and if you try to enforce them, or by throwing protests and whatever, that you will get these sort of viral responses.
I think that is a somewhat simplistic analysis of the situation. With the Posten cartoons, you might recall that there weren't any problems for some months after they were published.
Yeah.
I've a slight... Well, I don't really have it anymore. I actually wanted to publish those cartoons in a magazine I was editing in my student union, and I was stopped from publishing them.
Exactly. Those are the chilling effects that you're trying to reverse.
Yeah.
And if you like,
hang on for the first. The thing is, originally it wasn't a problem. It became a problem when a group of, I think it was Egyptian clerics, started turning it into something.
Kind of like Cordoba, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's kind of like Cordoba, isn't it?
Well, yeah, except that Cordoba House said all right and changed their name.
Okay, Park 51, whatever, I mean.
Yeah. So, there's, again, the two narratives I was talking about. And I would not have been happy organising a movement which racists could so readily come to. I'll put it no more strongly than that. The other thing, if I may say...
But you would, that is, you would have jeopardised the potential impact for trying to keep it cleaner. In other words,
yes.
That's the balance. That's the cost benefits analysis. You keep it cleaner. You diminish the impact. If you want to maximise it, you're going to have to jeopardise the cleanliness thing.
But this is the thing. I think because in order to make it that big, the people who fed into it actually screwed up the message and made it toxic. And so it wasn't, from the point of view of, people who have access to the internet in Pakistan or whatever, it wasn't about, we are not going to accept your religious mandates. It was, we don't like Muslims and we want to insult the Prophet Muhammad.
But in terms of fallout, you said that you wanted to publish some of these photos some time ago, and they said, no, we're not. We don't want you to do that. We think that'd be controversial. Looked at now, if these people had seen the Draw Muhammad Day and the lack of response to it, do you think that's actually somewhat restored? In other words, irrespective of if you actually approve of the methods, is it a step in the right direction in that it is reversed to a degree the chilling effects?
That is a positive. What is the negative? What is the counter to that? What is the result? This is one of the other problems I had with your video, is that do you remember you did a video declaring victory? You said it's a victory. It was a success, I think you said.
That's basically reiterating the points that I've just made. Yes?
Okay, I don't know if you watch my videos or not. I'm guessing not. But I made a video that basically said, yeah, you might be right. That might actually be a turning point, or the turning point, when things started making a real change. And, things started shifting and so on. And you might go down as a great humanitarian. Entirely possible.
The goal wasn't to make it. The goal wasn't for me. The goal was to actually make the event a success.
Yeah, I know. But the point I'm making is it's too soon to tell. You don't know what the downstream externalities are. You said that it's been the fact that it had been, taken down, Facebook, was it Facebook or YouTube was blocked for a bit in Pakistan, there'd been a reaction, people had noticed, meant it was a success. The thing is, you don't know how it's going to be used downstream. You don't know how this is being used as, up a hillside in Afghanistan. Yes. You don't know how people are going to use this in the future. Okay. What I'm saying is, you don't have, I feel, the evidential base to declare it.
No, but in terms of
to declare it a success.
But in terms of reversing the chilling effects in the West, it's very difficult to contrive that this is a negative effect.
But if the result of that is a greater problem elsewhere.
But this, to a degree, going back to what I was saying earlier, that basically what you want to do is protect the freedom of speech, because these are the things that drive the growth of knowledge, that builds the civilizations, that makes all our lives better. Going back, to the other point, that the Middle East really doesn't actually contribute anything there. And so, if you like, defending freedom of speech in the West is probably, what am I saying probably? By my assessment, defending the freedom of speech in the West is a higher priority than exporting it to the Islamic world.